We welcome back the guys from Lock Precision to help us conduct our most advanced rocket experiment yet to figure out one of the craziest anomalies we've ever encountered on Skinwalker Ranch.
Have you ever felt like you were being watched even when no one was there? At Skinwalker Ranch, that feeling is a scientific fact. But what's watching is not a person, it's the ranch itself. This land actively interferes with technology, hides itself behind invisible energy fields, and contains materials not of this world.
Today, we're going to use high-powered rockets equipped with specialized devices to see if we can collect some accurate data up in that space.
What is buried beneath the ground that is so advanced it can't be drilled? What force is powerful enough to bend reality? In this investigation, we'll look at the hard evidence and show you why the latest discoveries are pointing to a terrifying conclusion: the 600-meter ghost. There's a place in Utah's Uinta Basin, a sprawling 512-acre property known as Skinwalker Ranch, where reality itself seems to be broken. For years, stories of bizarre creatures, flying objects, and paranormal events have poured out of this place. But now it's not just stories. A dedicated team of scientists has brought in millions of dollars in advanced equipment, and what they found is far more disturbing than any campfire tale. It all starts with something you can't even see. It's a massive, invisible bubble, an energy dome centered right over a strange triangular patch of land on the ranch.
You know, we've been following up on what appears from our view through LiDAR to be an invisible bubble that is about 600 meters in radius, centered on the triangle here.
This isn't a small anomaly. Infrared scans have mapped it out. We're talking about a gigantic sphere roughly 600 meters in radius. That's nearly 2,000 feet across. This invisible structure extends high into the sky and plunges deep underground, covering a huge part of the property, including the infamous Mesa Ridge and a feature called Dry Gulch Creek. The craziest part? This bubble acts like a black hole for information. It's almost like something wants to stay hidden and it's actively fighting back against being discovered. It's funny when you think about it. We send probes to the edge of the solar system, but we can't get a clean signal from one side of a field to the other on this ranch. The team has tried everything to study it. They launched high-powered rockets, flew sophisticated drones, and used state-of-the-art laser scanning technology known as LiDAR. Every single time, the bubble messes with them. Drones approaching its invisible barrier suddenly lose all communication. Their GPS systems go haywire, reporting impossible locations before the connection is severed completely. It's as if they hit a wall made of pure interference. One drone, a powerful helicite, was about to take off when its system, which was connected to 21 satellites just moments before, suddenly lost everything.
Oh, hold up. System just crashed. Malfunction, guys, malfunction. We're having an interference issue right now. We're not really sure what's doing it.
At that exact moment, a duplicate, mysterious 1.2 gigahertz signal appeared out of nowhere. The source? Unknown. When the team launched rockets, the results were even more mind-bending. The LiDAR scans, which use lasers to create detailed three-dimensional maps, showed the smoke trails from the rockets being displaced by 10 to 12 feet from where the rockets actually were. Think about that for a second. The bubble was so powerful it was fooling the lasers, creating a phantom image of the event. The data was being bent, twisted, or swallowed entirely. The GPS trackers on the rockets told an even stranger story. As soon as a rocket entered the bubble, its tracker would show it making sudden, impossible turns, moving in ways that defy the laws of physics before the data stream would just cut out. It's a dead zone, a place where our technology becomes useless and something else is in complete control. This isn't just a simple magnetic anomaly. This is a massive, structured, and reactive phenomenon. It has a clear boundary and it responds to intrusion. The team found that trying to penetrate the bubble's eastern and southern barriers was almost impossible. Drones were pushed off course and rockets would malfunction. It's a cage, but what is it keeping in, or what is it keeping out?
When I get up near that barrier of the bubble, I start losing all communication on the drone. Could not move the drone.
So that you had GPS errors, you had communication errors.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
The discovery of this invisible sphere changed everything for the research team. It was the first piece of hard, measurable evidence that the ranch wasn't just a place where weird things happened. It was a place where the very fabric of our world seemed to have a boundary, a seam. And on the other side of that invisible wall, something truly alien was waiting. The question was no longer if something was there, but what it was and what it wanted. Whatever it is, it seems to be guarding something buried deep below. The mystery in the mesa. The mesa is a massive rock formation that looms over Skinwalker Ranch, a silent sentinel that has witnessed decades of unexplained phenomena. The team, guided by the data showing the invisible bubble extended deep underground, decided to do something no one had ever done before: drill directly into it. They wanted to see what was down there, what could possibly be generating such a powerful and bizarre energy field. What they found has shaken the entire investigation to its core and suggests that the source of the ranch's mystery is not just energy, but something solid, something manufactured, and something that absolutely should not be there. The drilling operation started normally, but as they pushed deeper, things got strange. At around 470 feet below the surface, the drill hit something impossibly hard. The progress slowed to a crawl. The powerful industrial-grade drill bit designed to chew through solid rock was struggling against an unknown material. For a while, the team thought the bit must have been destroyed, worn down to a nub by whatever it was fighting against. But when they pulled it out of the ground, they were stunned. The bit was almost completely undamaged. It's a real head-scratcher. What could be so incredibly dense that it could resist a high-powered drill, yet not leave a single mark on the hardened steel? The mystery only deepened when they examined the material that had been pushed out of the borehole, the drilling spoils. Mixed in with the dirt and rock were strange, man-made fragments. It was a type of manufactured ceramic with a distinct crosshatch pattern on its surface and a perfectly finished beveled edge. This wasn't some natural rock formation, it looked like a piece of technology. The experts on the team compared it to the tiles used on the space shuttle, a glass or ceramic composite designed to withstand incredible heat and pressure. It was a material that would be incredibly difficult to drill through. The discovery was a bombshell. It was proof that there was something artificial buried almost 500 feet beneath the mesa. But the weirdness was just getting started. When they tested the ceramic fragments, they found they were giving off unusually high amounts of radiation. This immediately raised alarms, connecting the dots to other strange findings on the ranch, like unexplained radiation damage found in plants and animals in the area. Where did this material come from? Was it a piece of a downed craft? The team started to piece together the evidence: the drilling resistance, the high-tech ceramic, and a previously captured video showing a UAP, an unidentified aerial phenomenon, flying directly through the mesa as if it were an illusion. A wild theory began to form, one that sounded like science fiction but fit the facts. What if something, a high-tech vessel of some kind, was stuck deep inside the mesa?
The fact that we're getting all these thin layers of this substance, and Aaron was hitting something so hard with his drill rig he couldn't penetrate it. Are we just chipping away at something much larger under the mesa?
What if this buried object was the power source for the entire bubble, the engine of all the strangeness on the ranch? The implications were staggering. If there was a craft buried under the ranch, who built it? And are they still here? The team was no longer just drilling for geological samples. They were conducting an archaeological dig of something not from this world. The object in the mesa might be the source, but the sky above holds its own impossible secrets. The laws of nature, broken. The Triangle is an area on Skinwalker Ranch that has always been a focal point of intense, high-strangeness events. It's the epicenter of the invisible bubble, the heart of the anomaly. The team decided to conduct a radical experiment. The idea was to generate a massive amount of heat and smoke within the triangle, hoping that their advanced thermal cameras and LiDAR scanners could detect any disturbances or hidden structures in the air. What they discovered was something so bizarre, so contrary to the laws of physics, that it has left scientists speechless. They built massive bonfires, creating a colossal column of heat and smoke. As they watched the thermal imaging, they saw something that shouldn't be possible. Within the searing, upward rushing heat, there were distinct cold vortexes or cold pockets. Think about that for a moment. In the middle of an inferno, there were spots that were inexplicably cold. There is no known scientific principle that can explain this phenomenon. Heat rises, and it should be uniform. But here in the triangle, something was creating pockets of intense cold right next to intense heat. It was as if two different realities were overlapping.
In the FLIR, we're picking up these dark zones, these cold vortexes, the heat. And then some of them just kind of move around.
Look at that.
And yeah, see, right there. Yeah, see?
That doesn't make any sense.
To investigate further, they decided to launch a rocket directly through one of these cold anomalies. What happened next was caught on camera and stands as one of the most incredible pieces of evidence ever recorded at the ranch. The rocket shot upwards, entered the cold zone a few hundred feet in the air, and then it just stopped. It froze in midair for several seconds, hanging completely still against the sky despite having no visible means of support and no wind to hold it in place. Then just as suddenly, it continued its upward trajectory. It's one of those things that you have to see to believe, but even then, your brain can't quite process it. How can a moving object simply stop in midair? What force could be powerful enough to halt its momentum instantly and then release it? The weirdness didn't end there. The LiDAR scans, which were mapping the smoke in 3 dimensions, revealed something else. Within the smoke column, right where the cold spots had been detected, the lasers were picking up a solid structure, a dense feature that was reflecting the laser light. It was a ghost in the machine, an object that was invisible to the naked eye but solid enough to be mapped by lasers. It's a mind-blowing thought. Are there invisible structures floating in the sky above the ranch? Over 25 separate scans, the LiDAR consistently got returns from something in the sky above the triangle. These scans showed strange rings and walls of energy which appeared to be the very edge of the invisible bubble they had detected earlier.
That is wild.
There's clearly structure right in there that's more dense or has more particle points than in the rest of the cloud.
How do you get such coherent structure in smoke?
That's crazy.
It was as if the smoke and lasers were finally allowing them to see the cage, the boundary that had been hiding in plain sight all along. The triangle was not just a piece of land, it was a gateway, a portal, or a window into another set of physical laws. The cold vortexes, the frozen rocket, the invisible structures, it all points to a phenomenon that is actively manipulating the environment in ways we can't comprehend. The phenomena are not just passive, they are actively broadcasting their presence. A call from nowhere. For all the strangeness happening on the ground and under it, the skies above Skinwalker Ranch are just as active and just as terrifying. The team's network of surveillance cameras covers every inch of the property, running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They are constantly scanning for any sign of UAPS, and they have not been disappointed. The footage they've captured is chilling, not because it's blurry or ambiguous, but because it's often crystal clear. In one instance, a camera spotted a moving point of light directly over the mesa. This wasn't a plane or a satellite, it moved in ways that conventional aircraft can't. And at the exact moment this UAP appeared, a powerful and anomalous 1.2 gigahertz signal popped up on their sensors. The signal was coming from the direction of the object. This happened more than once. The connection between the appearance of UAPS and the sudden emergence of strange radio signals became a recurring pattern. It's a crucial piece of the puzzle.
This sound frequency was like the kind of communication signal you would get from a satellite orbiting the Earth or even farther out in space.
It suggests that these objects are not just passively flying by, they are actively broadcasting, interacting with the environment, and perhaps even communicating. In another stunning piece of footage, the cameras captured 2 UAPS moving slowly and deliberately across the night sky. They had no aviation lights and made no sound. Then, as the team watched, one of them simply vanished. It didn't fly away, it blinked out of existence in an instant. At the same time, a bright flash of light erupted nearby as if a massive amount of energy had been discharged. It's one thing to see a strange light in the sky, it's another thing to watch it disappear into thin air. Adding another layer to the mystery is the detection of a persistent 1.6 gigahertz signal. This frequency is particularly significant because it's close to the WOW signal, a famous, powerful, and unexplained radio signal detected in 1977 that many believed was a potential message from an extraterrestrial intelligence. The source of this 1.6 gigahertz signal on the ranch is unknown, but it seems to be deeply connected to all the other phenomena. It gets stronger when UAPS are present and when the drilling and other experiments agitate whatever is on the property. It's as if the ranch itself has a voice, and it's broadcasting on a channel we don't understand. The combination of visual sightings with hard measurable data from spectrum analyzers and radiation detectors is what makes the current investigation so compelling. This is no longer about eyewitness testimony, it's about correlating multiple data points from different highly advanced sensors, all telling the same story. There are unidentified, technologically advanced objects operating in the skies above the ranch, and they are broadcasting signals that have no earthly explanation. These are not random events. They are intelligent, reactive, and focused on the ranch. But the signals aren't the only form of energy these phenomena are using. Sometimes the energy becomes so intense it threatens the safety of the entire crew. When Geiger counters lie. The forces at play on Skinwalker Ranch are not always subtle. Sometimes they lash out with an invisible fury that can bring the most advanced technology to its knees and create a genuine sense of danger for anyone on the property. This was never clearer than during the drilling operation at the mesa. As the team worked, their gamma ray detectors suddenly started screaming. The reading spiked to dangerously high levels, over 700 to 800 counts per minute. A reading that high indicates a serious radiation leak, the kind of event that would require an immediate and full-scale evacuation. Panic began to set in as the team scrambled to get away from a potential radioactive threat. But then, as they investigated further, they discovered something even more bizarre. It wasn't a radiation leak. The Geiger counters were only spiking when a person touched them. This wasn't real gamma radiation, it was a massive blast of electromagnetic interference, or EMI. Something on the ranch was producing an electromagnetic field so powerful that it was tricking the sensors, making them give off false, terrifying readings. This invisible EMI storm was so intense that it caused electronics all across the ranch to go haywire. The sophisticated laser cannons set up at the triangle began malfunctioning, their systems overloaded by the mysterious energy. It was an electronic scream, an invisible assault that was targeting their equipment. The incident was a stark reminder that the phenomenon on the ranch is not just a passive object to be studied. It is a reactive and perhaps even defensive system. When provoked by the drilling, it responded with a targeted blast of energy powerful enough to simulate a radiological disaster. It's funny when you think about it, we worry about physical threats, but the intelligence at the ranch can fight a battle using the electromagnetic spectrum, a battle we can't even see. During another experiment involving laser beams shot across the property, the team witnessed a repeat of a baffling phenomenon. They noticed a specific clear gap in only the green laser beam, while the red and blue lasers passed through the same space completely unaffected. This gap appeared both inside and outside the bubble. What could possibly block one specific frequency of light while leaving others untouched? It's a phenomenon that has no explanation in mainstream physics. It suggests a level of technological sophistication that is far beyond our own, an ability to manipulate light and energy with surgical precision. The electronic interference, the false radiation alarms, and the selective blocking of laser light all paint a terrifying picture. The intelligence at Skinwalker Ranch is not just present, it is in control. It can see what the team is doing, and it can react in ways that are specifically designed to disrupt their technology and sow confusion. They are not just observing the phenomenon is observing them back. The discoveries at Skinwalker Ranch are becoming more terrifying with each experiment. We are facing a mystery that challenges our entire understanding of the universe. Do you think we are dealing with something from another world, another dimension, or something that has always been here, hidden beneath our feet? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into the unknown.